What's going on, guys? Skokie here, back with a brand new video for you all again. This is the pre-final, the last heat race here for the TKC 2023-2024 Winter Series. After this, we're going to get into the final races of the series, but I'm starting 5th in this one after qualifying. The numbering for these heats was kind of weird. It was like 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. So I was in 5th, which would be the 1 group, which means technically a better group if I do good, but I don't know. I was a little confused. There was, like I said, a lot of people in this race. I think there was like 30 something people, and the more racers that you have there, the tougher that it is to understand how they do scoring usually. Like, they try to make people race around different people so you don't, race with the same 3 people to work your way up to the championship, because that wouldn't be fair either. So there's movement in the groups and stuff. I just didn't really fully understand what was going on, but they apparently placed everything very well, because there was really no movement at all during this race. I think there was a couple of spots up front that changed place, but overall, like, really nothing happened. Yeah, I'm looking at it now just to be sure. On lap 3, which I think is this one that's coming, first and second trade spots, and then they trade back on the next lap. So really nothing happened in this race. This might honestly have been the most boring race of the entire championship, which is fine. It's nice to be able to consistently put down laps behind somebody faster than you. It's good practice, but at the same time, you want to be continually moving forward throughout the day, getting better, working on your passes. I spent this whole race running laps and didn't even get to try to make a pass, so just kind of disappointing. You want to be able to do a little bit more. There was plenty of laps, there was plenty of time to do something and get something done, but I just couldn't figure out the kart. I would have needed to figure it out more than I already had, faster than the person in front of me is figuring it out, and honestly, that's not typically my strong suit. I feel like I'm a very consistent driver, I'm a reliable driver, but learning the track is not something that I do very quickly or very easily. So the more laps that I have, the faster I get. And I mean, that's true for everybody, but I think there are some people who can come to a new track and just kind of understand it instantly. And that's not really something that I'm very good at. It takes me a lot more laps to really get an understanding on a lot of these things. And you can see that reflected throughout the championship. I did pretty well on the tracks that I already knew, and pretty not well on the tracks that I didn't for the most part. The only exception to that rule being Grand Prix New York, where I did very well, but I think I did so good in New York because those were the same electric karts that I typically run at home. So I think I was just a little bit more prepared for that race than a lot of the other racers were. So I did very well in that one, but I'm not going to do very well in every single race that we do, right? So for the most part, like I said, this was a very helpful race. It was good to learn, but it wasn't a very exciting race, and it's not great for your psyche to just follow the leader the whole time. When you're not being competitive, making moves, like even if there was somebody behind me and I was needing to make sure I was staying sharp to not give up my spot or having to play defensive or something like that, that would be good. But since there are just no karts around me, I'm kind of like getting lazy throughout the run. It's like icing the kicker a little bit. Like, I want to stay sharp, I want to make sure that I'm focused, I want to make sure that I'm working on things that I may need to use later in the race or in the next sessions, and there was really no work to be done here other than just kind of trying to figure out a hot lap, which is important, don't get me wrong. I did definitely refine my line during this short race, but it's still just a little disappointing that I wasn't able to do a little bit more with what I had here. And I do think I had a pretty fast kart. I noticed that I was picking up fairly quickly. I was sliding a little bit more in those technical corners, which usually means that you're picking up real fast and you got to dial it back a little bit. And I couldn't quite figure that out until I was a little bit farther in. You can see I'm getting more and more consistent throughout the runs there. I clipped that inside on the hairpin, but this kart was hitting the limiter a lot faster than the other ones, and the limiter felt like it was running a little bit better. So I was definitely going through that back corner a little bit faster than I felt like I was on some of the other karts. But I'm getting a little bit desperate at this point. Obviously, I know I've been in the kart for at least 5 minutes at this point, and I am kind of catching the person in front of me when I'm doing well, but 2 mistakes in the last lap made it a little bit harder to catch him, so I'm getting kind of desperate. Then I see that one of the workers there was like picking up the checkered flag and starting to roll it, so I was like, alright, yeah, we're definitely just about done here. I need to get going. And I think I was trying to get a little bit more out of the kart than I could. I did kind of make up some time, but it really wasn't worth anything in the end. It was a good corner, but it wasn't enough, and then he pulled away from me towards the end anyway because I didn't have a great exit. We see the white flag that time, and I've kind of just mostly conceded. At this point, I know he's too far away for me to catch him without him making a huge mistake, and there's no reason. He's going to back off on this last lap a lot, use up that gap that he's built, which is very smart racing. That way he doesn't need to worry or spin out or push it too hard. He's just going to take it nice and easy, and since I'm trying so hard, I end up clipping that wall and losing time on him anyway. But that's checkers. Started and finished right in 5th place. Like I said, not a super exciting race, but it's one of the races that happen. So I'm going to include it here. We've got one more, the longer final race, the last race of this TKC series. If you haven't watched the other races, go check out the whole thing. It was a super exciting, super fun series, and all of the races I think were worth watching. So check out how I did, and of course, points reveal in the last episode. So I'll see you guys then. Love you all.